Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining me today, Wednesday, January 5th, for our third live seminar. I'm super happy to be here again with you guys. So I do want to start off again with the chat. Any questions that might be popping up? That's, I think, what I want to start doing now is starting these live seminars off with the chat, just paving the way for our discussions. So I'll let that go for a little bit. You have some questions roll in here, and then we'll get started. While this does, while you guys do have these questions rolling in, I did want to mention I've noticed a tremendous uptick in energy amongst our community. It's been really encouraging to be a part of that. A lot of new faces I've been noticing as well in Discord. A couple of people that have really, helped pave the energy for 2022. It's really helpful, and it's awesome to see. A couple people by name I've noticed in there: Goliath, Johnny Boy, Roger 5. Just kind of reading up on the people that I've noticed are pretty active in there, and it's really cool to see the new additions to our Wolf Pack. And another good thing to notice is the community is growing. Not just metrics on the network, but metrics on people interacting with each other, even in the simplest ways of just sharing an emote or a gift or just talking to each other in a community. Really cool to see. And again, welcome to you guys joining. I see a couple of you are interested in moderating. That's awesome. Just so much passion being added into our community. Really, really cool. Really cool. Okay. First question I see: is the plan still to have Yen token be an NFT? Might have that a little mixed up. Our update on PAC protocol, you're going to be able to mint your NFTs onto the chain, very similar with chains that you're capable of doing that now. That's one of the big updates that we are implementing into push for you guys to obviously update as well on your nodes. But yeah, you'll be able to mint your NFTs onto chain. Yan token is the first token implementation on top of PAC protocol. So as everyone knows, a native coin PAC. You are receiving it as a reward if you have a masternode, if you do proof of stake, or if you've acquired it, on exchanges, etc. That's the only token on the network right now, right? So Yan token is going to be the first additional token, part of our token layer that's being implemented on the protocol, to where the purpose of Yan token is to acquire data storage for our product that we're releasing, Yan DNA, when that's fully out of beta and everything's ready to go. So you can imagine, how there's different things all tied into the same, so to speak. You have IPFS layer, which is not integrated inside the protocol. It's just obviously something that can be built and scale using the masternode layer of PAC protocol. And Yan token is going to be that token that is rewarded to those that have a masternode, obviously growing the PAC network, which is providing that infrastructure to be even possible. They have that Yan token, and with that, they can deposit it into their account. If you're never sending it to anyone, it would just be acting as a collateral inside your Yan DNA account to access the amount of storage that you need. So those are separate things, Yan token and NFT. Combined, obviously, because the people that want to store their NFTs on a distributed network or the decentralized scalable network, when that's released, you can obviously do that using your IPFS technology. Use that as your storage bank. The NFT can be minted on PAC protocol and then stored on your Yan DNA account, which you need Yan token to have storage space. That is, of course, unless you're using beta, which is free 5 gigabytes of storage right now. Someone could theoretically host their NFT on Yan DNA right now. Obviously not minted on PAC protocol at this moment, but an NFT that's minted on any protocol that it's capable, they could be storing for backup purposes on Yan DNA on their account right now. Is it something that I would recommend at this point? No, because we're in beta. But theoretically, yes, it's possible. It's a storage place for your data. Sure. I mean, sometimes things get misunderstood or miscommunicated. It happens. That's why I'm here, to just bringing more information on what we're doing. Yan token is a token, a non-fungible token. That's an NFT. I can understand how it can be miscommunicated or misunderstood. token layer is for that purpose. It's a token. You can send it. That's Yan, the Yan token part of it. And then NFTs, obviously, that's separate. Like you can mint it on top of the protocol, store it in Yan DNA if you choose to. You don't have to, but that's your choice. When will PAC be on Coinbase, Gemini, and Binance? As soon as as soon as possible, I guess. That's the proper answer to that. We have our, I'm the communications when it comes to listing on exchanges. Eventually, once it gets down to the line, I'm the one that has to end up talking to them. And I do have obviously many different exchanges that have been on my desk as far as filling out applications, setting them in, finding out, listing requirements. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, or the first video, I believe. There's a lot of things that go into exchange listing. I mean, obviously there's the money part of it, which, us, if we're doing it, then we're obviously being responsible for that. But not only that, there's also, market volume requirements that exchanges want and, quote unquote require for them to list you, because, mainly exchanges make money off of exchange, fees, the transactions, etc. So if they look at your current market volume and they do not think that it is worth their while, or there's going to be noticeable market activity on a listing, they don't really care, even if you can provide the budget to list. So that's something that we can't control. I can't control that. That would be asking us to be market making and to manually, inflate our volume with fake. That's, I don't like doing it. That doesn't make sense to me. Why that would even be something that we would be asked to do. Some exchanges have deliberately done that, but not to name anything specific, but that's really a requirement. There has to be significant enough market volume in the trading activity for them really to take you seriously. So it's something obviously that we want to push. Like, we don't go out there and advocate for market volume. It's not something that we obviously can do anyways. But that's why we build products on top of PAC protocol. That's why we deliver different use cases to try and obviously bring in individuals that are going to want to use these products. And the way to do that, and the best way to do that, is to interact with the PAC protocol network and get involved, which at the end of the day eventually involves acquiring coins one way or another. So that's one way that market volume could be increased. That's obviously why we do our brand awareness and pushing products for people to understand blockchain, ease of use. And then, if that correlates onto the markets, so be it. That's something that's up to the people. It's not in our hands to control. How will rebasing of token per storage be handled? So essentially, when this is done, fully implemented, Yan token's obviously live. You can deposit it into your Yan DNA account, and at that point, yes, it's going to be a Yan token equals X amount of gigabytes. That hasn't been exactly stated word for word how much gigabytes per 100 Yan that you're going to be receiving is. In my opinion, right now, I think we're stuck on a certain number. But that hasn't, we're not there to push that out, so that number might change. That's why we don't want to get people confused on that. But basically, how can it, obviously, fluctuate with the price of Yan, because Yan can obviously fluctuate based on market conditions. How is that going to correlate to the amount of gigabytes that you're reserving? That would be an automated process on the back end, just to make sure that the storage is adding up to the value that was originally set for Yan, per Yan to gigabyte ratio. And things, could eventually change. That we don't build products and just think that we're perfect on the first release. Things could definitely change in the future. But how that's going to work is, if you deposit 100 Yan and you get 5 gigabytes, let's just say for argument's sake, if the price of Yan were to increase, the amount of storage that you have allocated would also increase with it. Or you could withdraw that excess Yan now because your value has gone up, just to keep your original gigabytes, and you can keep it that way. And vice versa, if the price of Yan were to go down, the way that we are designing our product is that your storage that you are requesting is not ever going to go backwards. So 100 Yan for 5 gigabytes, for argument's sake, if the price of Yan were to go down, you're not going to start losing your gigabyte storage space. We're not going to start taking that away. You've already reserved it. and it's not something that you're paying anyways because you're not sending your yen to anyone. You're just having it in your account as a collateral, showing the network, hey, here's this supply. This is the supply I want to put for my reservation for data storage. And there you go. And as the value goes up, maybe your data storage increases as well, but it's never going to go negative. That's just based off of our design of it. How long do you think the current requirement of this masternode will maintain, or will there be upgrades? Current. I don't know if you're asking if there's going to be like a network-wide update like anytime soon. When Yen token is fully implemented into the protocol and the other updates that are going along with this, obviously the NFT support, all that stuff that's included in this big update, we'll be able to push out like an actual time frame, an actual date where the block is set for it to actually go into impact, the hard fork, I guess you can consider it. We'll be able to tell you guys that, and obviously spread the news on that for you guys to upgrade your nodes if you are excited with the update that we present to you guys. Cloud infrastructure with the masternodes. I don't really understand that question like all the way through. I'm trying to just figure out what you mean. That's very similar to like why we felt IPFS was a great, compatible feature for PAC protocol. Is because the masternode layer, if you think about it, it's this big cloud infrastructure. You got servers all over the world. You just looked at it on a 2D scale, right? You just have all these servers everywhere. Basically a cloud infrastructure. So you attach different use cases to that, or at least make them optional for the people that are providing this cloud infrastructure, the masternode layer, the masternode owners, give them the option to start installing this really cool software that they can now add to their cloud that they've built with these masternodes. Wouldn't it make sense to make it variable on the amount of network storage available? Mainly because storage could stay the same or fall. You kind of answered your own question. I can't control whether or not a server is going to stay online or fall unless the servers were all in my control, which they're not once we get to that decentralized layer part. So that's why there's two different, we talked about this yesterday and the day before. There's many different solutions that we're presenting or attempting to present. Our distributed network side, which is servers that are in a web infrastructure, but it's still centrally maintained. That would be nodes that I can physically control. That's our distributed network side of IPFS, and what we're live with the beta right now on DNA. That's an infrastructure that we can go to partners and businesses and show them, hey, if you use a distributed storage system instead of what you currently use, you're going to have a way better operating system, and also you don't have this problem of location-based files where you're now screwed if one server goes down. That's one conversation we can have with businesses now and different partners that we get introduced to, just the networks and stuff. When we apply the decentralized side, which is now people have the option of installing IPFS on their own masternodes and providing more resources to the network, there's two different networks now that you got running. You got the IPFS side, sorry, not the IPFS side, they're both IPFS. You have the distributed side, which quote unquote just view that as masternodes that the LLC can control, the ones that we own, right? Then you have the decentralized scalable solution of it to where now people can start adding, servers, which are part of this network, but I can control whether or not these servers stay online. I can't control these ones. So now they're growing together. If any of these servers fall off, the ones that I can't control, we have on our product that we're building, it's our system, it's our back end, it's how we've designed it. It's obviously our solution to this. Files that are stored over here on the decentralized side will be pinged and stored on the distributed side as well. They're still encrypted. It's encrypted on the person who uploaded its side. So that's why it's kind of like when we're basing off of, the amount of storage that's available on the network, well, it can fluctuate at any time. How do we provide a solution for that when we cannot speak for a decentralized growing part of the network? That's the whole point of that. I can't make sure that those servers stay online. I hope that they do, but that's ultimately up to the masternode owner. But what we can do on our side is the files that are stored on that, the amount of YAN that is produced, YAN starts at a supply of 0. So the amount of YAN is being rewarded because people own a masternode. It's being rewarded to someone that has a server active. Is that server guaranteed to be providing data storage to the IPFS layer? No, it's not guaranteed. It's obviously a choice, as we mentioned many times. But us, as the LOC, we're taking it on our shoulders to make sure that data storage is available, which we can add via our distributed, allocation of the network. We have our own piece of the network as well, and our job is obviously to make sure that the products that we offer are at least providing this service that is, available. The decentralized part of it, we can advocate that, we can contribute to the overall decentralized growth of a network, but I can't obviously speak for everyone else. That's where you guys, the people, come in, and you guys support the network on your ways. Yeah, it's not going to be static though. I'm trying to explain that. If it's for argument's sake, this is a product that's not out, so you have to maybe just understand that it's not in front of you. I get it. You have a lot of questions on that, but it's not even a live product. So a lot of these questions that you're asking, would it be better to do this? Would it be better to do that? Possibly, very possibly, yes. But that's why the product's not done yet. We're working on it. We're coming up with our solution. It's what we're building. So it's something that we're putting our time and effort and passion and energy into doing. So we're trying to do it the best way that we feel is the best way. We're not going to be perfect on the first rendition, but we take all things into account and possibly maybe do it a different way if it works out better, and very easily could. The variable part of it, it's not going to be static. I'm trying to explain how the value of a token can change. So if it's 100 YAN per 5 gigabytes, for argument's sake, if the price of YAN were to change, that variable of how much gigabytes you're asking is going to change, because it's worth more. You're not going to get more bang for your buck. And if it's worth less, well, you're going to have to obviously put more YAN token in there. But it just is what it is. That's how I can't control a token metric side of that. But what I can control is that on a product that we are offering and building for you guys, is that if you guys do put that in there to allocate your data storage and the price were to fall, you're not going to lose your data storage on that side. Value-wise, sure, if you're using it for value, if the value goes down, but same for if value goes up. It's win-win, lose-lose, whatever you want to view when it comes to cryptocurrency and the money market side of things. Private and public networks will be treated as the same fabric. Data will be stored potentially on both networks. I mean, the only way, maybe I can try and explain it a better way. You upload, let's just use DNA beta right now. Everyone that uploads a file, the file is being hosted by servers that we control. That's why it's a closed beta. It's only the distributed IPFS solution right now, pinned on top of masternodes supporting it, obviously. But it's all only nodes that we can control. There's no outside nodes that are accessing or contributing data to YAN DNA, data storage allocation, I should say. But every file that's uploaded, it's encrypted on your guys' end. IPFS doesn't do that stuff. It's built into the front end of that. So it uses your password, your encryption. We can't access any of the files in a distributed file system, so that are encrypted. And more on that, it's broken up and split across the network, so we don't have the location either. That's why it's a content-based filing system instead of a location-based filing system. So it's really cool to just finally see that in action on YAN DNA in the beta. And as the public will be offered the availability of installing IPFS Not necessarily just on their masternode. IPFS is software that can be installed on any server. It doesn't need to be a masternode server, but if you have one already and you have available storage, that's what we talked about at the beginning, very stages of us introducing this to you guys, is that our installation of IPFS, it's being designed and built to only take a very small amount to install. So 500 megabytes, I think it was, to actually install the software. And then another 500 megabytes to contribute from your server to the network. So you're only contributing 500 megabytes per. That's just on one build out of a software installation. We'll obviously have more later on the line that, hey, if you want to contribute more than 500 megabytes, install this software package, et cetera, et cetera. There'll still be the free installations. You can put them on, but there'll just be options for you. But yeah, so once people start installing that software and the amount of data storage available is growing, that's the public network. That's where we say sky's the limit, because that's where it can literally just keep growing. Doesn't even limit just to a masternode network. Anyone with a server can contribute to this growing decentralized storage network. So sky is really the limit. It's insane how much data is actually used on the internet. And if people were given the opportunity to contribute to their own data network that can grow and be in a decentralized IPFS blockchain technology, have a distributed file system on the back side of it in the event the decentralized one were to fail, because decentralized nodes can fail. I'm not saying people fail, but they can choose to turn off their server, so it fails. And if anything were on that, what happens to that content? Well, that's why we built our distributed system first to perform on a beta to make sure that, okay, we can, in fact, store these files on our servers. We cannot read them. They're encrypted. That part's working. So as files are being uploaded to the public growing one, we can then basically cache those files and have them pinged onto the network that's running now. Basically, yeah, it would be a separate network, but it's not really a separate network because they're still talking to each other. They're just separate in how I'm explaining them in my head, because I control those nodes. They're in my possession, so I can control what happens. If they stay online. That's why I'm saying two networks, but they're still the same network, if that makes sense. If we want to spread nodes all over the world in cities, is there any cities that don't have enough nodes? I mean, yeah, it's really just, I guess, based on wherever people are. It doesn't. I don't really have an exact city map of where nodes are installed. We do have a global map with countries and stuff, and it shows you how many nodes are installed in that location based off their IP, etc. But yeah, with nodes, I mean, spreading all over the world, it's just really anywhere that you have access to the internet. If you have your own server, you can do it yourself, or you can access a third-party server provider to where you can pick the location of where the server is being maintained, where the IP is at, and that's how that's been spreading over the last couple of years, is that method. News about a new CEO. No news. Collective board, we're moving together collectively. I did mention yesterday that we have a lot of growth on our team. There's other people on the ownership that have been brought into ownership, or partners that we have not obviously made public for specific reasons, either on our end or their end, and just also timing. And it's also just not something that we have to disclose every single time. But our team is it's grown a lot, not even just our dev side, but our creative designers, our marketing consultants, on the legal side of things. And then, yes, our ownership and leadership has also brought on more talent here. So not everything has been made public, but that's just because timing and stuff like that. And it's also, we're not a public company. So when we finally have the right opportunity to introduce, new people to you guys, or just, fireside chat with you guys about the different things that we're doing. And you'll probably notice that as things just start progressing in the business partnerships that we've been focusing on, we do a lot of public stuff. Our products are all free; they're all public downloadable. But there's also the private business side of it, where we go in and actually showcase what we can do as a development company, what kind of networks that we can build out for them using the technology that we have at our disposal. And we've met a lot of cool individuals like that have hopped on the train, so to speak, to help us out, to build things with us. So when timing is right and other things get situated, then you guys will probably start seeing that, not only just us announcing individuals, but probably you'll start noticing some business maneuvers, I guess. Ledger and Trezor. Actually, I do have an update on that. It was definitely put on the back end for quite a while after, like, our original release of it. Like, we were super excited. We even, released a statement that we had it done. Literally the day of, there was a bug in that we found out it was not done. So it kind of just like, oh wow, like that was a oh wow, we screwed up moment on that we thought it was done, but then it wasn't. And it's kind of been pushed off because that bug has been consistent with just the updates that we have going on with the N token. The bug with the super blocks not paying out, the triggering method on that, the quorums. Those were things that we obviously wanted to focus on first before Ledger became a priority. And then lo and behold, with Ledger, as that kept getting pushed off, not pushed off, but just it's there. So we have so much going on. We have Yan token now and NFT support coming to this network. And then we also discussed building a bridge, a decentralized bridge for PAC to be wrapped onto the Ethereum chain and the Binance Smart Chain. So, we just ended up having so many things on the plate, not enough things to be able to do that at one time. That was a mess up on my fault because I thought we were done with it, and then looking into it, it wasn't exactly done. But the good news is that it's pretty much done being rewritten. Barry, our lead core developer, he's the one in charge of that, and so he's also putting a lot of man hours into the upcoming update for PAC protocol, being able to mint NFTs and stuff. So plate is heavy with him, but we definitely have had the discussion right now, and it's going to be coming. Just when it comes, we'll make sure to announce it properly, and it'll be actually coming when we announce that. Is part of the growth strategy to offer masternodes the ability to run nodes for other chains on top of their masternodes. Yes and no, I guess. I mean, yes, it's obvious that with us being able to showcase our products to other communities and other networks, it's advantageous, obviously, to everyone at PAC Protocol, and the best interest of PAC Protocol, get people to pay attention to what we're doing as well. But also, we're big advocates in not really being competitors, like per se, with all these different networks and communities, because a lot of them have a lot of the same goals or very similar goals that we do. So we're not trying to slow anyone down there, and it's kind of silly of us to even attempt to do that anyway. So our products that we build, we want to include other networks in. So the ease of use to deploy a masternode, a couple clicks. We want to also do that for other networks that we enjoy working with and wanting their community to also have easy products to use. And in return, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but it's also a pretty good brand awareness opportunity for us to give people a cool wallet or a cool deploying system for their network. And PAC is all over it, and maybe they're going to take an interest in PAC too. But what also is cool about that is that we can present these directly to these networks leadership and say, look, PAC protocol here, we're representing this network as there's 22,000 nodes here. That means there's 22,000 individuals or 22,000 servers, I should say, that are properly maintained. There's a POS score on it, so that obviously if they weren't being maintained, they wouldn't be active. And we can show that, be like, look, if you guys want your network to grow like that, on your own network, here's our product that we built, easy deploying. Share it with your community and let them start building up your nodes. obviously on their own accord, just like any other node network is based on their own accord, just like Bitcoin. I mean, there's full nodes, but there's no reward in having a full node. No, obviously incentive reward, I should say, but there's still a lot of nodes being supported. Why? Because people want to, or they want to have direct access to the network. Maybe they're a mining company or whatever, but they have a reason. They have to provide the resources for it, and they do. So same goes for a lot of projects. You'd be very surprised when you look into a lot of these DeFi projects or NFT projects and realize that the nodes that are supporting the network is under 5 or under 10 or under 100. And you don't really know who's, maintaining them. So it's really cool to be part of a masternode system, knowing, okay, sure, the leadership could have their own accumulation of nodes. But in the event that all of those nodes were to go down, we don't have to rely on that leadership. There's 22,000 nodes on the network, so it's still going to be active and doing its job because it's being decentrally supported. Not really taking a long time, but I mean, 3 months is definitely not a long time in my book, especially when you're asking for something to be built. So, I mean, look how long it takes to build a house. WPAC is a development. It's our first wrap that we've ever done. Like, we've never done anything like that. We'll have a bridge for it. And we actually brought over someone that works specifically on this before for other projects. He's a great addition to our team. Great to work with. Works very well with our developers here too. And so, we're not only just building a wrap for Uniswap or PancakeSwap, but we're building it for the Ethereum chain and the Binance Smart Chain, which are obviously compatible with those. But it's just, you got to be smart about it. 3 months is pretty fast to announce and then test and make sure that the wrap and the asset bridge is completely safe and secure. So we just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And also, you have to take in mind too, we have updates coming to the PAC protocol network, so it wouldn't really make sense to, release a wrap bridge, and then it needs to be updated with the new protocol. Yeah, we did talk about Ledger. It's coming out. It's actually being rewritten as we speak. Just the first attempt at it, we thought it was done. Released an announcement that it was coming out. And then literally that day of a little bit of further testing from other eyes, and it was noticed something that shouldn't be there. It wasn't ready. So since that, we've been working on it, and it's going to come out. It's just we have a lot of other things on our plate at the time right now. Major events I'm not going to here live because it's planned. Our press releases are planned to be pushed accordingly so that we're all organized, our team, different socials and stuff like that. So I don't want to come out here and jump the ball. But we do have a couple events coming up that are going to be, you guys are going to hear about it soon. I don't know how soon, but it's coming up within this year, within this month. Yeah, a couple of really cool things. So you guys are going to be hearing about those soon. I'm not going to be the one to say that here because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. We have it planned against all our socials, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm assuming, Alex, that there's going to have their own requirements for obviously tokens that want to be listed as well. We did mention this before. Yan token is the first token. It's a token layer. It's going to be possible for people to create their own token, their own supplies, with this update coming to PAC. So it's really, really cool. I'm excited for you guys to be able to use it. But also, that means that if a token's created, it needs to be listed somewhere. We're not always going to be the ones responsible for that because we are not the ones creating all these tokens that could possibly be created. There will be a collateral event required to create your token on the PAC protocol network, but it should be really cool to notice that on launch, your token has support of 22,000 full nodes. And I think that's very, very undervalued in this current day, especially with all the different tokens that you get created. And, there's obviously networks out there that are capable of supporting them and have done great jobs. Ethereum, great network, has supported tons of tokens being built. But it's cool to now have a possibly fresh, protocol here, 22,000 nodes performing, a service to the network, making sure that it's operating as it should be. And now you have a possibility of creating your own project on top of this network. So we're really excited for that to be released. I think you guys are going to be really, really impressed with it. That asset bridge, no, we're not involved in that. So what we were involved in, we had to send them X amount of PAC to cover the match, the Y asset on their side, on the bridge. So we sent them 100 million PAC, which is to be matched on their bridge, the Y asset. So we're not involved in building the bridge. We obviously have our signed partnership with them. We've sent them over 100 million PAC I've sent them 100 million PAC. And yeah, that's just, we're waiting on them for that. We don't have any control on that. When they update us, or if they need assistance from us in any way, we are definitely there to offer it. But we also have other things with actual Flare network that we are involved in directly at a partnership level. And I'm not really seeing any more questions running in here. But if anyone does, feel free. There was a couple of questions actually. You can see, I think, here. Let's see. Not currently, because there is nothing to even acquire on DNA. Like, you can't ask for more storage. It's just 5 gigabytes free for those that sign up there on the beta, their account. But yes, it is definitely in the plans, because we're not wanting to limit data storage to just those that have access to crypto, and even to narrow it down even further, only have access to YAN or PAC. So we want to add multiple levels of support and access for data storage, not just YAN, but PAC as well, additions for multiple different currencies as well, and then third-party solutions with credit cards, not us directly, but it would be a third-party partnership. And yes, that is correct. We're doing both wraps at the same time. So when one's done, the other will be done as well. And what's cool about that is there's other things that can now obviously be built once that's done. You look at just different tokens that come out on Ethereum or Binance, and they have their own swap, their own connect, very, very similar to like MetaMask plugins and stuff like that. That'll then be on our list to do, because we'll have access to different build outs, and we have availability now to do it because we have our own swap. So our own, I keep saying that, sorry, our own bridge. It's one thing that we're really excited about. That's why I keep hinting at our creative design team that we've been quietly acquiring and building up and bringing on new people. If you've seen the design work that we've done, that we've had done for instance, like the Times Square and the trying to think of the other place it was at. Well, it's Times Square and it was in London, but also on I can't think of that word, the billboard with Braxton Miller, featuring Braxton Miller and the wolf, kind of iconic look. That was really, really clean, professional work done by one of our creative designers, and we've been growing that team because the metaverse is becoming extremely popular, especially with the networks that we've been introduced to over this last year. Us being geared towards data has been really helpful in that as well when we're having those discussions. So it's one of those things that we're very, very, very excited to be part of, and designing something along the lines of our own metaverse, multiple different ones. We have plans like that, and we have ideas that we want to do. It's just obviously we have so much that we need to get done now for everyone. And some of those discussions, like I mentioned earlier in this video today, are private business discussions. There's a lot of ideas that get brought up, and a lot of individuals that we meet that want to get involved in this space, but wanting to do something and being able to are completely different things. We've noticed that in deploying a masternode. Very simple, kind of comparison there. But when we released Yan Safe, or PAC Safe at the time, then rebranded Yan Safe, with that easy click masternode deployment, you saw how fast the network just shot up, like how many people were able to do it. So it's kind of the same kind of situation when we're meeting all these different individuals, some pretty famous individuals, content creators, etc. They want to get involved in the NFT space and start monetizing their likeness and themselves, and the gaming industry with people and highlights and posting it for their fans and their followers. We're super, super excited to be able to finally have those conversations directly with them, and we're the ones walking them into the space. So that's what that's why we go where we go. That's why it's part of our brand awareness, and data storage is a huge part of that. It makes those conversations a lot easier to have, so that people feel secure joining this kind of space. A lot of people have probably been in crypto now for a couple of years, so not everyone here is just like newbie, a noob or anything. But you have to really look at it from the greater, like the real world, the people that don't really look into blockchain or have cared to, they just haven't looked into it at all for whatever reason. Even if they do and they know what Bitcoin is and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that know what Bitcoin is, but I ask them, do you know what blockchain is? And they don't even know what that word means. So, you look at it from that point of view, there's tons of people that want to get involved, but they have no idea how to do it. And when you start being able to introduce this kind of stuff and different solutions and ways for people to get their own content out there without going through third parties, or they are their verified owner of their content, NFTs, etc., goes for anything. It's really cool, and that's a huge part of 2022 for us is going to be just continuing to do that. Also, we have connections for some national commercials and stuff that we want to do. Also local commercials for just different areas, for different events that are going at the same, we can pinpoint off of, football events, things like that. Things where we can kind of get an audience at a certain time, not just like throwing up a commercial on a random Monday night or a random Tuesday morning, something like that. We're trying to be strategic on where we spend our money and where we put our branding. So we have the opening now. We built that network and those communications to be able to do these things. It's just us being able to provide the budget for it, plan it accordingly, so that we can not only us feel comfortable with the plan, but then be able to get the information out to you guys, so you guys can hopefully enjoy the hard work that goes into branding. And it's something that we've had to keep, recycling or finding someone who's best for the PAC brand to represent it. And I'm super confident in our team that we have. I mean, everyone here bleeds PAC. We have no negative things towards PAC and the brand. We have nothing but the best interest and pure intentions for PAC. So that's why we go around doing our brand awareness and representing it for you guys. Okay, well, we do have I have 16 minutes left on the hour. But if we don't have any questions coming in, then we can wrap it up sooner. So not everyone's just sitting here listening to me ramble about whatever topic I can think of. But I do want to make it clear that if you guys have any questions, please bring them up. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely want to have an application for DNA so you can install it. We want it to be like multiple, like any device accessible. Um, that's like my main pitch for that, for myself, like why I like it so much. I actually have it as an app on my phone right now, an APK, but oh, I'm sorry, not an APK. It's just a download, where you can like send it to your front screen, as like a little app. I use it on that because I've been testing us, like for instance, people that have Apple iPhone, they use iCloud, and then it says you're out of storage, buy more storage. It's really freaking annoying. Um, I've dealt with that too, and it's annoying. Same thing goes for Android. You run out of space, or you're using Google services or something like that. You have to buy more. Um, I like the availability of being able to put whatever files on my DNA, and then I can go to my computer and access the same files. I can go to my wife's phone and access the same files. It's just really clean and useful like that. So definitely, there's going to be an app, and then also we want to have some plugins in created too, so that you can have them installed as a plugin in your internet extensions or whatever. And yeah, that would be cool. Actually, it's a good idea integrating it into the PAC app. I mean, it is kind of going to be. There's a lot of things that we want to integrate with PAC app and the PAC tag system because it's so useful. Especially, if we're going to keep having products being delivered and pushed out for people to use, it would make it a lot of sense if we can eventually tie all the usernames together. Not by default, but maybe an option to where you can tie your Yan DNA account with your PAC tag name, and vice versa. So it's not confusing. You have all these different accounts for the same overall network or whatever. So it'd be kind of cool to do that. That's a good point you brought up there. Thank you, Jacob. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Haley. Appreciate that as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in here, so I don't want to take up anyone's more time. But I will be here again tomorrow, same time. Expect the same 1 hour session. If questions keep rolling in, we may stay longer. Just overall giving everyone the opportunity, hour every single day for us to discuss, share with each other some suggestions. Overall, just here for the best interest of PAC. There's been some, it always comes and goes. There's negativity, there's positivity, the negativity, positivity. Overall, I'm very happy with the community sentiment that most people, if not everyone, has the best intentions for PAC. So that's really cool to, you find if you just sit back and think about that, it doesn't matter if someone's saying something to you in a negative way or whatever, but we're all involved and we're all interacting with each other about this same network. So we're all here for the best interest of PAC, and the things that we provide to you guys and that we produce, we try and show that not only just when what we can do in the professionalism and the quality of the designs, but we're doing that because we care. Like, we care about this network. We care about PAC, and that's why we want to take it to the places it's going to be recognized at. So again, I appreciate you guys. And if you guys have any other questions or you forgot something, I'll be here tomorrow. Or you can just send me a message in Discord and I'll pin it down as a topic for tomorrow. So again, thank you and have a good one.